What's up, everybody? This is the Bro Stranger here, and today we're taking a look at the little Transformers that come with your meal. That's right, we're talking about Transformers McDonald's figures. Year is 1987. The Transformers the movie just came out, and they just released Season 3 of the Transformers cartoon. McDonald's, seeing the craze of Transformers, wants to capitalize, but they don't actually want to pay Takara or Hasbro or even partner up, so they decide to make their own. Enter the Changeables. The Changeables were a McDonald's Happy Meal that could transform, but they turned into food items you'd find on a McDonald's menu, and then their robot modes were robots, dragons, and dinosaurs. They even made an animated commercial to go along with it. The Beast craze of the late 90s with Transformers Beast Wars and Beast Machines, Hasbro and Takara finally were able to partner up with McDonald's and created brand new figures specifically for McDonald's Happy Meals. And they look just as scary in the show.
McDonald's is taking on a whole new look!
The early 2000s marked the first official reboot of the Transformers series with Transformers Armada. We got figures like Optimus Prime, Hotshot, Red Alert, Megatron, Cyclonus, Starscream. And honestly, I have some of these figures, they're pretty good. Next we have to talk about my favorite line from the McDonald's Transformers, and also my favorite show, Transformers Animated. I grew up with Animated as a kid, and it is my favorite. I love Transformers Animated, and the McDonald's figures are some of the best Transformers McDonald's figures ever. All of them are amazing. Starscream's a bit weird though. But all of them are amazing. Fun to transform in your hands, just to handle and play with. They have such good details, and they're just good figures. I honestly highly recommend the Transformers Animated McDonald's figures if you're planning on getting any, and they actually look like the Transformers. A lot of the other figures really struggled with depicting the Transformers and having a good alt mode, but Transformers Animated just really looks like the characters. I mean, Optimus Prime has two black void eyes for some reason, like he's straight out of Coraline, but other than that, these are the perfect figures and I love them. But unfortunately, this would be the last time we'd see transforming Transformers figures in McDonald's Happy Meals. Transformers Revenge of the Fallen was the first and last of the Bayverse to get McDonald's figures. All things considered, even though they can't transform, which is a cardinal sin on this list, they're pretty detailed and have some pretty fun and unique toy gimmicks. I'll give it a pass, just this once. We now enter
the dark ages of McDonald's Transformers toys.
Now, this might come as a shock to many of you to learn that we are still in the Dark Ages. We have not left them as of 2024. Now, what are the Dark Ages? Well, around 2010, McDonald's decided to not use as expensive plastics, to also not pay their overseas child factory workers who make the toys as much money, and to make it so the toys were less detailed. That meaning they cannot transform. The Transformers Prime figures that appeared in your McDonald's Happy Meals were unable to transform. Instead, having a blaster shooting a little dirt, or having a swing motion with some sort of melee weapon. But to counteract the immense disappointment and depression in my soul as a child, they decided to make vehicle mode still. Meaning they would just have a second wave where you could only get the vehicle mode. This would happen a lot as a kid. Whenever I went to McDonald's for a solid month, they would only have Breakdown in his alt mode, and I have gotten that figure so many times. I never even knew they made a knockout figure, because the amount of times my local McDonald's would just give me Breakdown. It got to a point where I begged my parents to ask them if they had anyone else other than Breakdown, and they said, "Oh yeah, Optimus! I already have Optimus!" That was the first toy they released, and I'm still not over it. I can't believe it. Childhood breakdown trauma aside, we got Red 2015, the worst sequel to Prime ever. But, as for the McDonald's figures, they're slightly better. They got these cool Energon weapons, but honestly, whenever I see them in thrift stores, they never have them. So, I'm assuming it's really easy to lose them. Kind of like the bullets they gave to the Prime figures. Although, this little crab guy has a grappling hook, so that's cool. That's a unique play feature, and also it can't get lost because it's directly attached to him. But they still fall in the same pitfall as Prime, where they're not as detailed, although they are a bit more detailed than the Prime figures in my opinion. They also have cheap plastic, can't transform, and they also made figures for the vehicle modes separate. Good job, McDonald's. Disappointed me twice in a row. Next up, we had the Bumblebee movie and Cyberverse, which is very weird because they're one and the same. Let me explain. Bumblebee is following around this family as they're trying to enjoy their McDonald's Happy Meal, but they promote Cyberverse figures under the name Bumblebee. And if you know anything about the Bumblebee movie, Windblade and Grimlock don't show up in that, and also Bumblebee and Optimus don't look like that in the movie. That's because these are the Transformers Cyberverse figures that they just made and slapped the Bumblebee name onto. But Cyberverse also got their own McDonald's toy line, and it's abysmal. The worst yet. Casted into the fires of Straxus's smelting pit because these are awful. What are these? This is the cheapest plastic ever. They can't transform. There's no toy gimmick. They just have a glass box for a chest and a sticker where it's their normal chest design? Why? I don't get it. The details are awful. Who wants to play with this? But this does end the saga of the McDonald's Happy Meal toys for Transformers. For now. And in case you're wondering, I actually made a little tier list, so here you go. Now, I didn't want to cover this in the video because it would be too long, but I will say this, Transformers 1 is actually going to have a Burger King line of figures. Now, unfortunately, Burger King has never been able to get transforming Transformers, but their figures are decent, and I think it's interesting to see this kind of promotion still alive and well, and the last time we had Transformers at Burger King, I believe, was Dark of the Moon, where they went all out for the marketing. In fact, I prefer the Dark of the Moon Burger King fight than the actual Dark of the Moon movie fight with Shockwave, because it feels more dynamic, and honestly, I think they added in shots that just straight up aren't in the movie, because Optimus just kind of rolls and one-shot Shockwave. Now, a lot of you might see me like this after watching this whole video.
Full wrath of Lord Hater! Because I am the greatest in all the galaxy!
But that couldn't be further from the truth. I do enjoy the Transformers McDonald's toys, it's just I see that they've gone lower and lower in quality since when I was a kid, and I don't think it's nostalgia either considering they can't even transform. The animated toys and the Armada toys are clearly superior, and I want to see them do better, and I know they can do better because of what they've shown in the past. So McDonald's, spend a little bit more money on some better plastics, spend a little bit more money on the child slave labor over in China.